guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin, and today we are back as guys with Vinland Saga, episode 6 from first season.
Last episode, Thorfinn had to survive at all costs. It was really difficult because he had no water, no food. He was basically alone, close to Askeladd and his group because they stopped at a village that they massacred and they were eating good, and he was just on the side like that. Like he had big, you know. Anyway, he was really struggling, and he got close to Askeladd with a sword, and he had to learn the hard way that, you know, he's too young, he's too short to use the big swords. It's not as easy to kill a warrior. Askeladd just toyed with him, and he wasn't worth the trouble. But then eventually he saw that Thorfinn, who by the way like ended up training in the woods and ended up using the knife instead of the sword, like he learned from what Askeladd told him, and he learned from a little experience in the woods. I think he saw potential in the kid, and so he told him, go out, fight, do something great on the battlefield, and then when you become a true warrior, well, he did call him a warrior, but when you become worth it, come find me, I will fight you. It's a promise.
Tough your resume before you come back. Something like that.
So Thorfinn said, okay, he has a goal now, so we need to get stronger, and when we have proved ourselves on the battlefield, we get to fight Askeladd. So we'll see where he goes from there. And meanwhile, at the village, they all learned about the fate of Thors, and they know that Thorfinn is lost somewhere, and Ilva,
and our mom is Elga.
Yeah, they are struggling, but trying to be strong, trying to support the village as much as possible. So they'll have to, you know, support each other while Thorfinn finds his way back home. Eventually.
Someday.
So this is where we are. Let's jump in this episode and see what happens next. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
In the meantime, let's go.
Is he still tagging along the group?
Maybe he is.
Yeah, he just stuck with them. Oh, I guess when he said prove yourself on the battlefield, he meant follow us, and when you've done something worth it. I just expected him to go off on his own.
Viking たちはイングランドに侵攻し、西暦1002年移住してきたバイキングを襲撃。イングランドに派兵を開始。攻撃を本格化する。
God damn. People get shot by arrows in this show and they don't give a shit.
They're fine. It's not their knees. They're fine.
Ugh. There's two sides to this show. The beautiful colors and imagery and the brutality of war and fights. And when the two are put together, it makes for really intense visuals like this. This is what you've been dreaming about. Not as great as you thought. Death is not pretty. Yeah.
Needs to keep going.
He is putting himself through this, but since they don't give a shit, he has no one to really coach him through that and help him out.
バイキングが戦争に手貸してんのか？あちこちでイングランド軍との小競り合いが始まってるからな。イングランドに侵攻するって話だ。その前の地固めだろ。邪魔な連中を片付けちまおうってわけか。王様の上陸前に。そこに手を貸しゃ報酬もがっぽりだ。
It's all about the money.
悪い話じゃねえだろ。この地の領主が抱えるイングランド軍には手を焼いているが、戦力もあんたらより上だ。海賊風情なでかい口を同じデンジンじゃねえか。貴様らと一緒にするな。
Yeah. Well, you come from the same place, but you're here for the money, not for your people.
早めに手を打っといた方が誰も死なないわけだし。何を望む？金7ポンド。
He's not pretending to be someone he's not.
女ら全部もらう。5ポンドだ。あとは好きにしろ。交渉成立。戦の段取りは任せるが、下手な真似をするな。
Great. Okay, first taste of actual battle. Be careful.
囲われてやがったが、撃たれた ちょうどいい返り血して戦場で手柄を立ててみ
Yeah, but
Dude, you're not ready for that yet.
and he said something great. I don't think if you manage to kill someone here, it's gonna count.
構造お前も海賊か
No.
エンジンの血を恨むんだな
It got him a little bit.
Thank you.
悪い悪い生きてたか戦場じゃ弱いやつが死んでいく
Yeah.
I told you.
But you learn from that, be strong. He's gotta toughen up because everything here is you for him. It's gonna overpower everything. His senses, he's gonna freak out. The blood, it's there, but okay, yeah. You're sneaky. Just find a way.
You're small.
And he
Sneaky.
got a first kill.
Yeah.
It's the loss of innocence, man. Or at least what innocence was left. He's too young to go through this shit.
He's learning. Mine's going for the throat.
It's too sad. Hair's
You
growing
see
out.
the time passing.
I mean, we got a lot of time to cover, so he's getting good too.
Yeah.
I guess he's a smaller target, so
様になってきてんじゃねえか
you're my target. No one gets to kill you.
I'm the one who's gonna kill you someday.
おうトロフィーちょっくら石膏に出てくんねえかな
He's sending him scouting?
なんで俺が
His voice.
You wanna kill me? Do what I ask you to do.
Prove yourself, man.
押さえつけとけ
And we can use two now, maybe. It's one thing to learn by training at home, it's another to learn to save your life. He has no choice but to become good if he wants this to work.
If he doesn't, he's gonna just die. He's gonna die.
I don't know how much time has passed, but he's at that age where a couple months could make him change so much, so I don't know.
ちょっとバカなんじゃないかね。先々代の江戸川様は良かったよ。デンジンとも仲良くなってさ。でも近所のエセルレッド様は台無しだね。
Usually the Ethelreds of history are not good.
そういうことあんまり人前で言わないでよね。ん？
A little help, please.
母ちゃん。
傷の具合はどうだい？
He's so
あんたの服は洗っちゃったよ。
angry,
代わりにそれ着てよ。
suspicious.
探検もそこにあるよ。男の子用はそれしかないんだよ。さあ、お座り。
He's been fighting their people for a while, so yeah, I would be wary too. But,
You think he understood the language?
well, they all speak Japanese, so.
身内はどうしたんだい？
やっぱり言葉通じてないんだよ。
I mean, they all speak Japanese, but
It's for us, for our sake.
for
but
us.
怪我して倒れてる子供をほっとくなんて。
でもさ、
I feel like the army never, well, the group, Askeladd's group, never really let him eat everything he wanted, so.
女子供が付き合ってやる義理はないよ。
Oh no.
Oh, you haven't had this in so long, man. Just a motherly presence, a sister presence, maybe?
気持ちよく
People
な
who
ったろ。
care?
うちの下の子もよく頭をボリボリやってたね。一昨年に風邪をこじらせて死んじまったけどね。
あんたの言葉はわからないよ。イングランド人じゃないんだ。
お、やっぱり口が聞けるんじゃないか。
They knew, man. They knew. They still chose to take you in for this.
で 天神の石膏がこの辺りに忍び込んだ。怪しいガキを見なかったか。
What?
Suspicious kid?
大使閣下の正規兵を2人殺している手だれだ。
Not him.
Is that him? No, it's my son.
それはお前の子か。
末のジョンですが、何か。
He looks
ちょうど
nothing
そ
like
の子
you.
供ぐらいの背格好だ。見かけたら知らせろ。
You have a reputation now. People are actually looking for you, so that's one thing, I guess.
何やってるか分かってんの？あの子は海賊なんだよ。
He's still a kid.
なんでかくまったりするのよ。
子供が海賊なんて普通じゃないよ。何か事情があるんだろ。
事情があったらなんだっていうのよ。ジョンの代わりにはなれないのよ。
That's true.
But in her eyes, he's still a kid.
He understands, I think, that he's causing trouble for them, so he's gonna
Yeah.
leave.
逃げろ。友達。
And he was scouting, so they're coming.
Yeah.
You helped him out, he's helping you out as much as possible.
You better run because we're coming next.
トルフィンの合図はあそこだ。
He's not a Viking for the same reasons as other Vikings are Vikings. He would put that limit between friend and foe, but still, that limit can be crossed all the time depending on who's nice.
やはりそうか。化けてたな小僧。なんだよあれ。うわ、ひでえ。
He's a devil's spawn.
なんだあの子供。
I wonder if he sees his mom in a way. Like, how would she see me?
She
なんで
was.
来たんだよあんた。逃げろって言っただろ。
こっちに来た。
まだ間に合う。海から遠くに行くんだ。
They
急が
don't.
ねえと連中が。
Yeah, I think that a part of her wanted to believe that he was
An
just an
innocent.
innocent kid. You know?
あれなんだ。
Like, was maybe forced to do stuff against his will.
As long as she didn't see it, she didn't believe it.
Yeah.
バイキングだ。
I kind of expect to see her dead.
敵軍が来る前に手上げるぜ。
It's the path that you chose, unfortunately.
Looks like his father
Wow.
when he was fighting on that boat 15 years ago. You know, just unfazed, like done with what's going on.
I don't think he's unfazed. I think he chooses to be unfazed because that's what he's gonna have to face to reach his goal. I expected time to pass. Not in episode 6, but still.
So what, maybe a year? You
I
think?
feel like maybe a year or close to a year because we never saw him cut his hair. So, and it doesn't take, I mean, it kind of takes a bit of time, but not that long for hair to grow. And we saw one winter and we didn't change country. So I guess a few months at least, enough to pass winter. And now we're coming into spring.
Yeah.
I suppose, but he's still just a kid. It's just that he had to grow really fast, and being taken in by this woman and her daughter, obviously he would relate that to his mom and his sister, and also to his dad, and their way of life. And I feel like he's wondering, seeing her look at him and cry like that, he can't help but wonder how his family would look at him now that he's chosen this path. Because it's not like he has a lot of options, but still he chose to stay with them. He chose to grow and learn and fight. He killed.
Still, he has a purpose in mind, a goal to achieve, but he still decided to choose this path, like you said.
There's obviously a big difference between him and what he wants and Vikings, the Vikings that he fights with. And by the way, I love that for once we separated Danes and Vikings, because we've seen Vikings, we've seen Last Kingdom, and now we're watching Vikings Valhalla. In Vikings Valhalla, maybe there's a bit of a difference, but it's never really acknowledged, and I think it's important to say it. Vikings are not, it's a job. It's nothing else but a job.
Those who explore, those who raid and stuff.
Yeah, so you can be a Viking without being a Dane. You can be a Dane without being a Viking. You can be both, but it doesn't mean that you do the fighting for the same reasons as the Danes. So in this case, the Danes were massacred, and now the Danes want revenge. So there's a war happening. The king is on his way. They're preparing. Yes, there's probably an ulterior motive. They spoke about invading. It's a good opportunity for them to start this invasion. And since they're attacking here and there,
Yeah.
Askeladd saw an opportunity to make money, but he's a Viking. So saying, oh, we're Danes, like Bjorn was saying, oh, we're Danes just like you. So like we have a reason to fight in your war. I'm like,
Yeah, you're not there for same reasons.
no, but it's still a good idea to use Vikings because they are terrifying warriors to, make headways into the country and allow the king to show up with his army.
Yeah.
But when you compare Vikings to Danes, there's a huge difference that's been shown in this episode. And when you compare Thorfinn with Vikings, there's also a big difference because even though he's fighting their fight and he's doing the job, he's not doing it for money. He's not doing it for the pleasure of raiding, for wealth, for anything other than just, I gotta become stronger. His goal is something else. So I don't think he identifies with Vikings, but others will put him in the same group because he hangs out with Askeladd.
Yeah.
He's obviously learned a lot. Like now he's picked up 2 swords, which is great because he's too small, I think, to actually use a shield. So to use two small knives is actually a good idea. And he's so small, he can be fast. Like learn how to fight, considering how you are physically and become stronger that way. Things will change as he grows older, but right now it's the best way for him to survive. And Askeladd is actually using him for missions and stuff. So he's putting him in situations where he'll get to learn more.
And also, he's technically expendable. If something happened to him, he doesn't really care about him,
That's kind of why I felt like when they fed him and he ate like crazy, I kind of was like, well, maybe it's been a while since he ate a full meal, but I'm not even sure Askeladd's group is feeding him correctly because he's still just tagging along. Like they know why he's there because he wants to kill Askeladd, so he's not gonna let him go. He needs to keep him in his sight and learn.
And in the meantime, they're using him to do their bidding if you want.
Yeah, because they know he will do it. Because otherwise, like, he's expendable. It's true.
I mean, when Askeladd asked him to go scout ahead and help us out, why are you asking me? You want to kill me in the future, kid? Do as I said.
And not just that, it's also like they could get rid of him. Like if you become a nuisance, if you're not helpful or anything, like who's to say that they won't just get rid of him? He did give him a promise, but we already know that Askeladd doesn't really give a shit about promises. So, but still, people will look at him differently with fear, and the way he puts a limit, because like Vikings will see civilians, they will see Saxons, they will fight them for the simple fact that they are different. It could be a religion thing. It could be a wealth thing, like you have something we want. It could be we're Danes, you're Saxons, we're enemies, we're fighting. So there's a multitude of reasons why Vikings could fight the Saxons. But when Thorfinn is put in that situation, he's just doing the job. So if a Saxon decides to help him, he's not going to separate an ally from an enemy as much. Like those limits are blurred for him because from the get-go he's hanging out with his enemies. So how he views enemies and allies, that's very blurry for him, I think. So that would create situations like this where he's personally getting close to someone that Askeladd would kill or him and his group would fight back, would fight against. He will feel torn and he would realize that, okay, I am hanging out with those monsters who would massacre the people that are nice enough to help me, and he doesn't see a reason to kill them, but he's decided to follow this path to become stronger. So that's why I feel like he needs to let go of those tears, those emotions, this guilt, because this is what he needs to do. So if it means causing pain, if it means becoming a warrior with blood in his hair, with, you know, the fear in the eyes of those that have helped him, because he is a killing machine, he is becoming this monster.
Yeah.
He will do it because this is bigger than everything else. So it's grief because he needs to let go of who he used to be, who his family saw him as, and who, you know, all his life from before. He needs to let that go if he wants to become someone strong enough to take down Askeladd. So his revenge is taking over everything else. It's sad because I don't want him to lose this humanity, but he's already losing it. It's happening.
Like I said, it's just like his father when he was alive, like 15 years ago, before he has his daughter. He was just doing what was asked of him, just killing left and right. And when finally he had something to look forward to come back to.
Okay.
I mean, he was so used to just killing and killing and killing that he had to just be detached from it.
If you take that, yes, it's true. Basically, I feel like Thor's fought so much that he kind of lost his reason to fight. So he was just killing for the sake of killing. And Thorfinn has a reason why he's becoming stronger, but the line of I'm killing to survive might be blurred when it comes to just I'm gonna have to kill more and more, and he might eventually forget the reasons why. Like, there's no animosity towards these people, but he has to kill them in order to survive, in order to fight Askeladd. So maybe you're right. Like, maybe there's gonna be kind of like his father, he's gonna forget the purpose behind the fight. Like, he's just gonna kill to kill.
Yeah.
Even though he's never, I don't think he's ever gonna lose his true purpose of killing Askeladd. Still, he has, like, these people are not really his enemies. Like, those who attack him, I understand, but the people he will make suffer, they're just in his path. So he's just gonna get rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him. So he will have to detach himself. But that's the thing, he wants to keep going that way. So he'll either he puts himself through grief and he realizes I'm doing so much bad stuff, I'm killing so many people, and he feels bad about it, but that will make him weak when it comes to his revenge, so he'll have to let go of that.
That's why there's a huge difference with the fact that you need to kill to survive or to defend yourself versus just killing because for the fun of it or just because you want to do it.
Well, Thorfinn could go back home and just, live his life, but
he can't.
He can't.
He has a goal. He needs to defeat Askeladd.
Yeah.
So until he achieves that goal, he's gonna stay there.
Yeah, I know.
And I want to go back to
His first kill?
His first kill. Like I said, before he achieved that first kill, he was facing that opponent and he got scared. I kind of was right.
He's a kid.
When he was facing Askeladd, he was blinded by his hatred. So it didn't matter to him if he had to kill someone, he'd just go for it.
I think it's not so much killing someone. I think it's just that fear got replaced by need for revenge when he faced Askeladd. But when he had no drive to personally go after this guy, fear took over.
Yeah.
Because he realized, I'm shorter, I'm weaker, I'm not a warrior, and he's coming at me.
That's a huge Jasmine.
Yeah.
I need to run.
I think that he had no other emotions but fear in that moment, and that's why he freaked out. And when it came down to survival, so you gotta do it, he did it. And the loss of innocence, I think, happened completely in that moment. He's still a kid, but when you kill someone for the first time, I believe that you can no longer be considered a child. Like, he had blood on his hands. He had that scream, that primal scream. He's crossed a line, and there's no coming back from that. And after that, it became easier.
Askeladd, tell him right. The weakest, the weak's gonna die first.
Yeah.
Just like if I wasn't there, you will be dead.
Yeah.
So next time you're facing someone, you need to go for it
Because you can't depend on them.
Sure.
Because, like, he took care of it, but they don't really give a shit. I mean, maybe over time, some of them will talk to him and they'll, grow used to him enough.
It's
but
like the mascot of the team.
I think, at the beginning, I think he's a joke, but the more it goes, the more useful he might become, and they'll start respecting him a little bit. But right now, he's still just a kid.
You're almost like a true warrior.
But, like, I mean, I said they're eventually going to respect him. They used him as a scout this episode, and they were actively, you know, they knew it was going to work. Like, they knew he was going to send them the signal. So it's not like they sent them there to die. They expected him to do his job.
Yeah.
So he is proving himself already. It's because we're jumping ahead in time really quickly, but we have to do this.
But still, I want to point out that the few fights that we saw Thorfinn, we technically saw him learning from his mistakes, because he's still
He's still growing.
He's still growing and discovering his strength as a warrior.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when he was pinned down by that soldier with just his knife, basically,
Yeah.
he learned that shit. I need to have something else, and since then he's using two. You know.
Like I said, I think he's too short for a shield. So if you can't defend yourself, but might as well have two fucking knives. But I think it looks good on him, and he's, like I said, he's so fast that it's just a good strategy to go at it. You're gonna get him before he realizes that there's someone there.
And somebody's gonna learn to defy gravity, just like his dad did.
Yeah, but it fucking sucks that he has to disconnect himself from his old life and just put these people through that, because like they genuinely saw a kid, and I think it broke her heart to see a child turning into this. Because children, like she said, children and women have the choice to get involved or not, but it's like he didn't have that choice. He was robbed of his father. He was tainted back then. He did have a choice, but to realize you have a choice, you need to free yourself of this anger and this need for revenge, and he's not there
yet.
We're gonna say that a lot. He's not
there yet.
But no, I think at this point in time, he feels like he has no choice.
Yeah.
And when he does realizes he has a choice, it'll be too late, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see.
But yeah, it's getting intense, and he learned really quickly. But we're not, we're not Askeladd's level yet. So we're gonna need to keep trying, keep getting stronger, and keep suffering. And people will worry about him at home. Poor kid. Anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next 2 episodes right away, they are on Patreon already. You can check them out. The link is in the description below.
Yep, and if you don't want to, the next one will be on YouTube pretty soon.
Yes.
Keep an eye for it.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, guys.